Welcome back to Genesis to Revelation, where we discover God's truth from the beginning to the end. I'm your host, and today we encounter one of Scripture's most mysterious and transformative events, Jacob wrestling with God at the Jabbok River. This isn't just an ancient story, it's a revelation of how God transforms us through struggle. Let's read Genesis 32 verses 22 to 32 together. The same night he arose and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 children, and crossed the ford of the Jabbok. He took them and sent them across the stream, and everything else that he had. And Jacob was left alone. And a man wrestled with him until the breaking of the day. Let's continue reading this remarkable passage. When the man saw that he did not prevail against Jacob, he touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip was put out of joint as he wrestled with him. Then he said, "Let me go, for the day has broken." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And he said to him, "What is your name?" And he said, "Jacob." Then he said, "Your name shall no longer be called Jacob, but Israel, for you have striven with God and with men, and have prevailed." Then Jacob asked him, "Please tell me your name." But he said, "Why do you ask my name?" And there he blessed him. So Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, saying, "For I have seen God face to face, and yet my life has been delivered." The sun rose upon him as he passed Peniel, limping because of his hip. Most readers miss crucial details that transform our understanding. First, Jacob deliberately sent everyone away, his wives, children, servants, all his possessions. He was completely alone. Why? Because some encounters with God require total solitude. Second, this wrestling lasted until daybreak. We're talking about hours of intense struggle, not minutes. Third, notice the mysterious man touched Jacob's hip and instantly dislocated it. This reveals he possessed supernatural power and could have ended the fight immediately. He was restraining his strength. Fourth, Jacob's persistence is remarkable. Even injured, he refuses to let go until he receives a blessing. This shows us the heart God desires in prayer. The theological shifts in this passage are profound. Jacob, whose name means supplanter or deceiver, becomes Israel, he who wrestles with God or God prevails. This isn't just a name change, it's a complete identity transformation. Jacob stops running from his past and engages directly with God. For 20 years he's been fleeing consequences, from Esau, from Laban's anger, from his own deceptions. Now he wrestles instead of running. His permanent limp becomes a reminder that God's strength is perfected in our weakness. Tomorrow he must face Esau, but tonight's encounter with God transforms his fear into faith. The deceiver becomes a prince with God. As creation witnesses this mysterious encounter, we see their wonder at humanity's unique relationship with the Creator.
From my height, I see Jacob chose to be alone with the Almighty. No creature but man would dare wrestle with his Creator.
I serve without question, yet Jacob struggles and demands blessing. How bold humans are in their relationship with God.
See how the struggle transforms him? His wrestling brings blessing, not judgment. What grace the Creator shows to those made in His image.
The injury remains, but so does the blessing. Sometimes God wounds to heal, weakens to strengthen.
That limp will remind Jacob forever not of defeat, but of the night he encountered God and lived.
What does Jacob's wrestling teach us today? First, God sometimes allows seasons of struggle to transform our character. Like Jacob, we may find ourselves wrestling through difficult circumstances, wondering why God doesn't simply remove our problems. But the wrestling itself is the transformation process. Second, persistence in seeking God's face brings breakthrough. Jacob refused to let go until he received blessing. In our prayer life, are we willing to wrestle through until we receive what God wants to give us? Third, our weaknesses become testimonies of God's strength. Jacob's limp wasn't a badge of shame but a reminder of divine encounter. What struggles is God using to reshape your identity from your old nature to who He's called you to be? Join us next time as we continue our journey through Genesis, discovering how God builds His people through unexpected encounters. Until then, may you find courage to wrestle with God in prayer, knowing He desires to bless and transform you. God bless you, and thank you for studying His Word with us. Subscribe for more Bible study content.